Hi, Daryl. You'll be alright. Alright, The Walking Dead, Season 6, Episode 15, East Review. Very good episode, I'd say. Definitely set the season finale up pretty damn well. Some people online say that this is their least favorite episode of the season of the second half. For me, I don't feel that way. I really still enjoyed this episode tons. There was so much to talk about still. Alright, so let's dive into this episode. It's really good. So first off, we have like an intro that's like just really, you have no context as to what's going on. You see some like spears through like some car with blood, and then you hear someone scream. Whatever. Then we get to the theme song, and then after that it's like, okay, now we're here with Carol, and it looks like she's sewing stuff. Maybe she's gonna leave. We know she's gonna leave from last week's episode where she said like, don't come for looking for me or whatever. And we see before that, and we see like her and Tobin talking, and Tobin's like working on a making the guard tower like look nice, or make the guard tower better, because it's just really, there's no ducking for Sasha. You guys probably know how I feel about Sasha. I don't really like her as a character. She's not well written. She doesn't add anything to the story, I don't think. Let me know if you guys agree with me or not, but like, I just don't like her character. I feel like she should just be killed off. She doesn't add anything. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it'll be something, but since the end of season 5, I've just been like, I don't like you. You've got a season to change my mind, and she's only got one episode left, and if she doesn't, then she's really just there for no reason, but that's besides the point. We go into, Carol and Tobin are talking, they kiss, and then we have like a montage of relationships, just everyone's in a relationship. We got Carol and Tobin. Carol leaves during the night with some stuff. And we have Johnny Cash music going on with like It's All Over, and we'll get into that in a sec. We see Carl, he like goes to the armory and he sees a gun that has a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. Like, that could be Negan's gun, or it could have been just one of his men who's like, we bow down to him, or something like that. But that was a cool little find. I saw it, like, my sister was watching the episode. I don't know if she saw that part, but like, if she saw that, she wouldn't have known what it meant. So only the comic book characters, people, we know what's going on there. Then we see Maggie and Glenn in the shower, and Oof. We have not had anything that steamy since, like, I don't know. Tell me when the last time, like, anything that was that, like, in your face. Like, they've never shown that much of, like, another character. But Maggie was looking good. She was looking very good. Maybe I'll cut that out. But, we see, like, the two of them together, and then like when Maggie's like doing this to Glenn's face, it's like, it's all over, it's all over. I was broken into a million pieces, and I'm like, there's a little hint. Maybe we're reaching, but it could be a hint. And then we see Daryl on the bike, and he's ready to take off and leave. And then we see Abraham and Sasha, and they're kind of like together, and Rosita looks pissed. Then we cut to Rick and Michonne, and they're in bed, and then Michonne's just like, we gotta move. I don't want to piss off the pregnant lady, because Maggie has a schedule that they want to adhere to and make sure that things flow well. So then after that, Rick just has a talk, and Michonne's like, they're worried about an attack, and Rick's just like, if they come for us, we'll end it. Rick's really confident right now. Like, he's really, really confident. That was the thing in the comics at this time, is before he met Negan, his confidence was super high. He was like, I've met a lot of people, and they've attacked us first. We're gonna attack them first, and that's what they've done so far. And so he's like, we can take care of it. So that's a cool thing. Daryl is pissed. He wants Dwight dead. He wants him dead right now. He blames himself for Denise's death because he didn't kill Dwight when he gave Dwight plenty of chances, and he would, if Daryl had brought Dwight back with him when, like, in episode 6, if he had actually brought him back, he would have been a valuable asset to the group, and they would have been able to use him well, I think. But since Dwight got cold feet and thought, is this guy gonna screw me over? He just was like, no, I'm taking the bike, I'm taking the crossbow, I'm taking your gun, and I'm gonna go. And he paid a price, and now Dwight is out there, and he killed Denise, their doctor. So Daryl's really pissed, and he wants him dead because he really, like, this. Daryl's acting like season 1 Daryl, where he's just really angry and uncontrolled, and he doesn't care what anyone else's ideas are. He just wants to do what Daryl wants to do. So, Michonne, Glenn, and Rosita go after him. I'm like, we gotta get him back. But I'll say this, they probably sent out too many people. They should have maybe only sent 2. Rosita, for one, because she knows where Daryl's going. And either either Michonne or Glenn. But for the sake of the story, it's gonna probably add up better. So then, in the rearview mirror of, like, Glenn and Maggie, like, they say goodbye or whatever, and in the rearview mirror you can see Maggie just, like, she's here, and, like, the camera's just going farther away, and it's like, oh no, that might be the last time Glenn sees her. Could be. So then, after they leave, Tobin gives Rick the note that Carol left him, and they just try to figure out when did she leave, where is she going, did she take a car, did she walk, and just Tobin's giving Rick the information that he can find. And then after that, Rick's like, we're gonna go find Carol's house, and they've got like 4 people already out, and 2 more going out, Rick and Morgan. So there are a lot of people. We still have Abraham and Sasha back there right now. Abraham's fucking awesome. He's just awesome. He was cool in this episode, and he is an important character, I'd say. And he's a great fighter, so it's good to have him there. So when Carol's on the road, she's got like a car with spikes in it, like from Alexandria, and she's on the road, and some saviors come by and just shoot her tires out, and she's like, oh no, I don't want to have to kill you. And she has this whole breakdown like, please don't, no, this doesn't have to be this way. And the guys are just like, fuck it, we're gonna take you down, or we're gonna bring you back. And she's just like, no. And she wipes him out. Done. Most of them. She's like 3 of them are like toast completely. Like, she shoots 2 of them. She spears one that like jumps out. Another one, she was hiding behind the van. She goes around. That guy charges. She shoots. And then there was like one guy later that just was shot like here or whatever. Then Rick and Morgan are on the road. They find the place. They find the place where Carol was. And Rick notices that one of the saviors had a spear that was made from the Hilltop Blacksmith. So they're stealing from them, of course. Maybe Gregory's like telling Negan. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Gregory was telling Negan information about Alexandria because he was scared or whatever, but maybe that's just off. And then Rick he throws down a quote from Carol that is just so true, is that woman is a force of nature. And yeah, Carol is a beast. She can clear house, whatever the case is. I don't even know if I'm using the term right, but she can just go to town and destroy. She can take care of business, but she doesn't want to right now. She just wants to leave. She doesn't want to have to kill, but whenever she leaves, they'll always be there. People will be there for whatever, whenever, and they'll try to kill you, and you will have to kill them, or you're gonna die. And she doesn't want to do that at all because it's just weighing her down so much because Morgan got to her. Then, like, when Rick and Morgan are off tracking her, Rick says, "We didn't end it," referring to the Saviors, and then Morgan says, "No, we started something." That was cool. Then we have, like, the one Savior that was in the truck. He comes out and he grabs the crucifix that Carol was holding. I'll say this, the music in that scene is done really well. I really like it. It's just very well, like, I don't know, like, tension, not really tension, but just suspense, like, something's gonna happen, like, eventually. Like, this might not pay out now, but it's gonna have repercussions of something. I really don't know what that Savior is gonna do, though. That's gonna be a really interesting thing, because that's just odd. I don't know. Like, they lingered on him, like, a few times, and it's like, what is he going to do? And I have no idea. Then we cut back to Rosita, Glenn, and Michonne. They track Daryl's bike, and then they find the train tracks where Denise was killed. Yeah, Daryl's just acting like season 1, just off the hook handle, just going to town. He doesn't care. He wants Dwight dead because he knows that that's what he has to do. They find Daryl. Glenn has a great speech. Glenn was awesome in this episode. He had a great speech, very emotional. Like, she's gone, man. It's not do you blame yourself for this? And he's like, yeah, I do. And then Glenn says, we gotta go home. It's gonna go wrong out here. That was a very good piece of dialogue. I loved that little piece of dialogue. It is gonna go wrong out here. Yeah. And then Glenn, like, they really try to convince Daryl, but he's just like, no, man, I can't. And Rosita goes with Daryl as well, and the two of them are just off to go, whatever, try to kill Dwight. But how are you really going to track him? You're not really thinking straight, and Dwight knows that. Dwight probably knows that Daryl is not thinking straight, and he's want to get him dead, so he's probably getting himself ready. And then Glenn is shown, they just start walking back or whatever, and Glenn says, like, he dropped a piece of information that was cool, or a piece of dialogue that was cool. He said, we need them alive, referring to the Saviors. We need to find out more about, like, how the world is bigger, and, like, what else is there to know about the Saviors and whatever. So Glenn says we need to capture them. We can't kill all of them. We need to capture some of them, so that way we can just get information. And then Dwight comes out and he's like, hi. I'll say I do like Dwight. I mean, like, I loved it. He's a cool character. A lot of people really hate him. I like him from the comics, kind of. He was a dick in the comics to start off. We all really didn't like him in the comics when we first met him. He was a dick. Whatever. He's well written. I like the character. I mean, you can agree or disagree, but I think he's kind of cool. But I love the whistle, too. That the Saviors use to, like, communicate with each other. It's pretty neat. Then we have some really nice dialogue with Rick and Morgan about, like, and this scene was filmed so well. I loved the really long shot of Rick and Morgan just walking back, like, really far back, and then at the end it's just Morgan's face and they just walk right by, and then it fades to the new scene. It's a really well shot scene. I really, really liked that one. Morgan brings up the fact of, like, how he talked to some people about the prison and how Rick expelled Carol or like send her away for killing Karen and David for the sickness, and Rick, and he asked Rick, "What would you have done now?" And he said, Rick says, "I would have thanked her." So it really shows how far, like, how much Rick has changed as well. Like, Rick's changed, Carol's changed, Morgan's changed. A lot of people have changed, and Morgan says, "You sent her away, Rick, and she was there to save you and the group at Terminus. People can come back, Rick." And it was done really well. I really liked the filming of that scene. I like Morgan's, like, what he said and trying to let Rick understand his point of view and all that. And then we cut to after that. It's like we go to like this little farm or barn or whatever, and we see a man that's like, he stabs a walker with a spear, and like, Rick pulls out his gun and is like, "Stop!" And the dude's just like, "Holy and he runs. He's like, "Please, I'm just looking for my horse. I'm just looking for my horse. I don't want any trouble. They're coming, or whatever." And he just starts, and Rick and Morgan try to talk to him. "Have you seen our friend?" And he doesn't say anything. And like, Rick tries to shoot the dude, and I'm like, I'm glad Morgan just stops him, and I'm like, you don't really know, Rick. You don't know. I mean, you didn't shoot Jesus right off the bat when you met him. Why do you want to shoot this guy now? And after that whole skirmish, Rick just says, "I don't take chances anymore," which is what he said to Morgan when they met back at the beginning of this season. And that was pretty cool how they brought that quote up again. And then Morgan, I love this part. Morgan brings up the wolf, and I'm gonna call the wolf Adam. I don't know why. I'm just gonna go with that. He didn't have a name. I'm gonna call him Adam. We can roll with that. And he said he kept the wolf, Adam, alive, and like imprisoned him, like, because he met him on the road or whatever, and then he met the wolf on the road and he didn't kill him, and then when they attacked, he didn't kill him again. He imprisoned him, and when he took Denise hostage or whatever, he brought her out. They were swarmed, but he saved Denise, and then because he saved Denise and brought her to the infirmary, Carl was able to live. It's all a circle, Rick. Everything gets a return. I loved that quote too. And Rick, like, he was really pissed, but then it seemed like he understood some of it. Not all of it, but some of it. So it's like Rick and Morgan are starting to, like, understand each other's point of views, and maybe they're both kind of starting to go like this, because Morgan did take the gun. That was one thing, like, back in episode 2, when, like, Carol gave him the gun, he was like, "No, I don't want this." He took the gun this time. So that's showing maybe it's a little bit of a sign of change for him, which that's cool. And then Rick just says, "You're coming back." "Yeah." And then Morgan says, "Yeah, I am. But if I don't come looking." And Rick's just like, Michonne did take that protein bar, by the way. That was funny. And then we get Rick and Abraham at the gate, because Rick goes back to Alexandria. Morgan's still out looking for Carol. And we have an awesome interaction between Rick and Abraham. We never see enough of those two characters together, but they have really good, like, interactions. I like the fact, because Rick was Abraham's right-hand man in the comics for a majority of its time. But in the show, you have Daryl, you have Glenn, you have Morgan. So they're all those three of them are, like, big leaders, as well as Michonne. So it's kind of hard to balance that, but Abraham was Rick's right-hand man in the comics, so it's kind of cool to see, like, them both talking like leaders. And Abraham is a poet with words. Now that I have someone, I'm afraid to lose. I'm ready to tear this world a brand new asshole. Abraham, you are a wordsmith, and it's just awesome. And then we see Maggie, Uh, she got a haircut and by Enid, and then it's like it looks like she's got pregnancy pains. So she's gonna have to maybe go to the hilltop for the doctor. And then one last scene, you know, the one where like Michonne and Glenn are tied up, and Rosita and Daryl are in the woods, and they're about to like take some of the saviors out, and Dwight just comes behind and he's like, "Hi, Daryl," and Daryl's just like, "You'll be all right." So Daryl got shot in the like shoulder. That's gonna him up. He's not gonna be in a good mood. And Dwight knew this. The reason he did this because he knew that Daryl was gonna fight. Like Daryl was gonna just try to attack him or do anything, any movement at all. He really was just not taking any chances. And he was like, "I'm going to shoot you. You're not gonna die, but you're not gonna be in a fighting position at all." So Dwight shot Daryl in the other shoulder. Like he got stabbed in one side with Xavier, and then he got shot in the other one by Dwight. So yeah, that kind of fucking sucks. But that's what happens when you're not paying attention and being a bit careless like Daryl was in this episode. So it all sets it up for the finale pretty damn well. Highlights just Rick and Morgan's dialogue. Daryl and Glenn. Glenn was great. Maggie and Glenn, like little interactions like that could have been the last time they see each other, but maybe Maggie gets snagged on the way to the hilltop if they bring her to the hilltop, which maybe that's the van, like in the preview for next week, maybe the van has Maggie in it, and that's who's maybe on the stretcher, or it could be Daryl. But either way, I really enjoyed this episode. I don't know, what did I give this episode? Maybe I'd give it an 8. I'd give it an 8. It's good. I enjoyed it a lot still. Finale's right around. We're gonna see Negan in the show. And let me know what you thought about that little skit I threw in the beginning of the episode of this review. Let me know if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe, give a like, leave a comment, of course. Appreciate those who do leave comments. It's always really nice to see them. And yeah, I'll be back with my season 6 finale video review as soon as I can. I don't know if I'll be able to bring it up tomorrow night because it might be very late. It might not be until Monday or Tuesday, probably Tuesday, but we'll see. I do want to get that review out as soon as I can, but it's just going to be a matter of when my time's available. So like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.